What's up, the squad? Back with another video. I see in the titles going down. Make sure you hit the like button, hit that subscribe button for me, please. Y'all see it right here. Definitely. My last video was the view, I'm pretty sure. I told y'all that, and I explained on my last video. I know a lot of people click on different ones, but I definitely apologize. Didn't put out a video yesterday, I'm pretty sure. But like I said, I know a lot of y'all have been following, like I said, me on Instagram and stuff like that, and y'all see, but my 5th and 6th grade basketball team did end up winning the championship, and they actually came over after and stuff like that, so I couldn't put a video. But much love to y'all. I definitely was geeked, tonight, to get these videos done. So let's check it out.
And Hillary Clinton, where they were asked about their ties to Jeffrey Epstein, including the moment when Congresswoman Lauren Boebert released a photo in the middle of the proceedings. Take a look.
Yeah. There's photos that are being released of the secretary as she is testifying from inside this room.
If you guys are doing that, I am done. You can hold me in contempt from now until the cows come home. This is just typical behavior.
You will go off the record.
Oh, for heaven's sake. We all are abiding by the same rules.
I will take that down.
Yeah,
So
well.
I would like to take a break at this moment.
Yeah,
I'd like to have a conversation.
for now.
In 2017,
But you see how, like, when a person obviously gets, that irritated, that mad and frustrated, stuff like that, they're guilty about something.
speeches and interviews, you described Pizzagate as a baseless conspiracy theory, alleging you and others ran a child sex trafficking ring.
Pizzagate was totally made up. It was an outrageous allegation that ended up hurting a number of people. I can't believe you're even referencing it.
Now that you know that Jeffrey Epstein recruited girls as masseuses, does that reframe that photograph and knowing that there were girls on the plane that were being abused?
She wants to know if I feel bad about it, yes.
One of the witnesses who testified in the Epstein cases that Epstein said, you quote, like them young.
That's not true.
What's not true?
That I have any interest in underage.
I didn't say underage, I said young.
But it's still not true.
Is an intern young?
Yes.
Oops. That was a shot. That was from Lauren Boebert.
Yeah, I say, say what you want about the Clintons. Have any of the women, or has anything in those emails pointed to them as being guilty or having anything to do other than
Well, he's in the bathtub.
knowing?
He's in a cell.
Other than knowing, they got a lot to do with it. They had a lot to do. Speaking of that, even with Epstein, not only that, Whoopi, she's taken up for them because obviously she's friends with the Clintons. I mean, that's come on, y'all. Let's be real. Like, you got to call it out. Like, regardless, friend or not, even don't speak on it or say the truth. I truly feel like that. Like, if that's your friend, like, and those are friends like you, and you love the Clintons, this, that, and the other, like, why sit there and lie even more and not doing nothing but make yourself look more and more bad? Especially when more information comes out.
A hot tub with one.
Bathtub's different. Hot tub.
Yeah.
In the hot tub. And he took
There's
several
that.
flights on Epstein's plane.
Yes,
for,
but
for
my
his
question,
charities.
my question is, has he been accused by any of the accusers?
I don't think
No.
so.
No,
Okay.
Monica
That's-
Lewinsky hasn't
okay.
really come
But-
after him, has she?
That
We're
has
talking
not,
about the
no, we're
Epstein
talking about the
file.
I know,
Epstein.
but she's talking about his girl. Any
No, I'm
woman.
talking
just
about from the Epstein.
Yeah,
file.
just the
Have
Epstein.
any of the women
I don't think so.
come out and said, this is what Bill Clinton did?
I don't
No.
know.
So what were they looking?
But the
because-
thing, let me tell y'all something. The thing is within this, and I had another clip I want to show y'all as well. Let me make sure. It's because they speaking on this whole this hot tub situation. So before I play this again, I'm gonna say what I got to say, and I'm gonna show y'all something. Whoopi knows that the accusers obviously don't have nearly, and I'm talking about probably not even, they don't have anything when it comes down to how much money the Clintons, even Whoopi Goldberg, how much they have, meaning money, the power that they have. And Whoopi knows that, but for her to go on here and say stuff like that, like the accusers they haven't did it. Like y'all know. Y'all know the game that y'all playing. I'm telling y'all. And before I, play more of this, I want to show y'all this as well. Says Hillary Clinton now said she was laughing at the photos of Bill Clinton with possible, Epstein victims when they speaking on the hot tub.
What was your reaction when you saw some of the material that has been released? I'm thinking, for example, of images of your husband apparently in a hot tub in a swimming pool on Epstein's plane. What was your reaction to that? And do you know the context surrounding some of those images?
Absolutely. And it wasn't a hot tub on a plane. It was one of the stops they made to look at philanthropic and charitable work that my husband has done, saving literally millions of lives around the world. It turned out that was done long before there was any public awareness and certainly any conviction of any crime by Jeffrey Epstein. So it was a short period of time that was in pursuit of charitable philanthropic work. A lot of people were traveling at the same time. Many staff members, guests, other supporters of the foundation. If Bill and I had a penny for every person we've taken pictures with, we would be extremely rich today.
And what was your...
When I tell y'all that, and somebody comment exactly, and I mean exactly what I was already about to say. She's far worse than Bill. Far worse. And you truly see it. You can see the evil in somebody's eyes. I'm telling y'all, you truly can. Check it out.
Because they had access. What I don't understand is they had access to all the information.
Yes.
So they were asking questions in order to.
I think it was clearly partisan. I think, you had someone like Les Wexner who testified before the House Oversight Committee, yet not one single Republican showed up for that. Yet every Republican showed up for this. I find it very interesting that the Clintons were called, they were subpoenaed to testify, they provided affidavits like many other people. They were still forced to come before the committee. They did so. Yet, the New York Times has identified more than 5,300 files containing over 38,000 references to President Trump, his wife, First Lady Melania, and his Mar-a-Lago club. Melania Trump, actually, in these files, had such a wonderful correspondence, a friendly correspondence with Ghislaine Maxwell in 2002. And let's remember, Jeffrey Epstein was trafficking women from 2002 until 2005. In an email, October 23rd, 2002, written before she was married to Trump, Melania wrote to Maxwell to praise a New York Magazine profile of Jeffrey Epstein and express interest in meeting. So if anybody's going to be called in front of this House Oversight Committee, I want to see President
Everyone
Trump.
should be called.
I want to see.
Everyone should be
I
called.
want to see First Lady Melania. I want to see the Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick. I want to see the
So you
former
wanna
Treasury
see
Larry
folks-
Summers,
yes,
Bill Gates,
yes.
and Elon Musk.
No one is.
So my thing is why are they this is what gets me. Stop playing this whole blame game and stop pointing, and stop always having President Trump name in your mouth. Like if you if you got President Trump name in your mouth so much, I mean, I can't say certain stuff on here. I'm just saying, y'all. Like, I truly don't get how an individual, how they hold. I feel like that the only reason, I said this before, I feel like the only reason a view actually gets views is because a lot has to do with Trump. So if anything, they need to be thanking President Trump. They getting paid because of President Trump. I'm gonna say that. I know you're probably like, how reckless how? They're literally, anything they talk about is about President Trump. Why ain't they name any of the Democrats? Like, come on, bro. Like, I truly, Sonny is full of it. She's full of it.
Yeah, not by rank, not by authority,
That's
not
correct.
by presidential, not by citizen. I hope that when we see someone and they show us who they are, as history does, that we believe them. And I think by those videos, we start to believe who some people could be. I think that we could also understand in this moment that there was
Which
something that
video?
was very human that I heard President
Which
Clinton
videos?
say. The videos we ran with the Clintons. Sorry. I do think that it's important to hear his voice in there, that it could be helpful for the victims. And I also believe that they came here kicking and screaming. They did not want to be deposed. They were going to be held in contempt, and that's why they showed up to be deposed.
Yeah, it was a bipartisan vote.
Yeah, so this is something that they didn't want to have to do. No one does, right? But when they're there, and he's saying, looking back on it, I do feel sorry. I think we saw a bit of humanity that I hope the focus can go back to the victims, that if even hearing that, that someone can look back and think, I should have known, maybe I should have seen something. Looking back now, I feel this, that they can go back on a path to regaining
Don't you think this has pretty much
healing?
Elizabeth, I think this has backfired on Trump because
I don't
now,
think so.
Yeah, because now we've seen
think
a
you want
former
it to, but I
president
don't think you have.
talking, and now we
Exactly.
want to. I'll say something you don't hear me say. I'd like to hear more from Trump.
Yeah. Do you
but I think
President?
Here's what I would love for.
Usually it's like,
Elizabeth,
no.
would you like to?
But
hear
the thing is that she'll say, I want to hear more from Trump and this, that, and the other. But then again, first of all, it's more important things to worry about. I'm going to say that. Secondly, I feel as if even him talking about it, it's still going to be an issue. It's still going to be a problem. They're still going to call him a liar. They're still going to say this and say that. I'm telling y'all, they look for these clips. They look for these, these moments to where, and that's why you have the fake audience clapping and this, that, and the other.
President Trump
I'm telling you.
I would love to hear anyone who needs to testify for the sake of the victims. And I think what happens when we're focused on Hillary slamming her fist and being mad that her photo has been pre-released and how she's been wronged, when the focus is on the women and the victims that have been wronged. And we should be able to mightily surround them.
At the same time.
Yeah. No one's above the law. Anyone in question should be.
Well, and Lauren Boebert's release of that photo felt like someone.
And that's the main thing what so many people are saying, that no one is above the law. And regardless, it can be anybody. Regardless, you need to be held accountable for the things that you did. Regardless. That's just how I feel. I don't know how about y'all, how y'all feel about it, but me personally need to be held accountable.
And like telling people, because when she was asked about it, they said, why did you release the photo? She's like, why not? So that attitude, I think, is dismissive
That's
of the.
so shocking to hear that about Lauren Boebert. She usually has things well in hand.
Is dismissive of the seriousness of what's happening.
Agreed.
So, but what I would say is, I do think a lot of the questioning was political, and yet I also think it needed to happen.
Yeah, sure.
Because I thought Hillary Clinton kind of wiped the floor in her hearing because she didn't have anything really to offer.
not guilty.
But I do believe that some of the other people that didn't come kicking and screaming because they weren't forced to need to be coming. Sonny, you said that. Merrick Garland, James Comey, Eric Holder, they all said in their affidavit, we don't have anything to offer. I'm sorry. You were the Attorney General under Biden. You were the FBI Director under Obama and Trump. You were the Attorney General under Obama. These men knew something.
Amen.
Yeah, they had all access to these files. They all need to be brought in. I'd also like to see
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk, but Lutnick, I want to hear him under oath. He commented on some of this when he was in front of another hearing. That man needs to answer for
Larry
his
Summers.
inconsistency.
And you know what they're going to answer to? They're going to answer to their maker one day. All of them.
Well, that one I
All
know
of them
for
gonna
sure.
Answer to their maker.
In the
and then
meantime,
they're gonna
let's get him
the
here so we can watch it.
In the meantime, correct.
Y'all have right here. Me personally, I truly don't have, I don't feel like playing any more of it. Just for the simple fact that you get so many lies when it comes to The View. There's things that, I do call out. There's things that, I truly, truly hate, for a lot of individuals that actually, not only watch this show, but they listen to a whole bunch of lies because of the hatred towards Trump. Instead of them being real about, a lot of these situations. Instead of playing this whole, this person, that person, this, obviously, it has a lot to do with Trump, either the Trump administration or, somebody on the right. But to actually just, regardless, like, I didn't catch, this individual's name. Let me go back so I can see if I can catch her name, if they posted her name right here. Elizabeth.
By presidential.
Elizabeth Hasselbeck. Hasselbeck. Is it Hasselbeck? Might be Hasselbeck.
By rank, not by authority. Citizen. I hope.
Hasselbeck. And I hope I'm saying it right. But just like said, like, regardless, nobody, everybody should be held accountable. Regardless, anybody and everybody, nobody's above the law. And, I did this earlier. And like, each and other, these videos that I watch, I typically look at the comments sometimes. And I see the comment says, Elizabeth can't bring herself to simply say, yeah, Trump should be questioned. Please notice that Elizabeth interrupts only when Trump is in the conversation. Obviously, this person doesn't, you have a lot of likes, on this comment, obviously, because, again, it's The View. But then again, the whole conversation about Trump. So it don't even make sense. Elizabeth makes this unwatchable. She literally gets me nauseous. If a person gets you nauseous from what they say, then you're just in denial. You full of shit. Hillary came ready to stand on business. Totally agree with Sonny's point here. If you agree with Sonny, then definitely need some kind of help. Hillary Clinton didn't come and stand on business at all. All she did was yell and complain. I have a lot to say. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Hasselbeck in almost every thumbnail today, really. Like, come on, y'all. Like, how old are we? Go away, Elizabeth. I'm telling y'all, bro. Absolutely insane. Absolutely, crazy when it comes down to it. The individuals, I'm telling you, and the crazy thing is, they actually put a new host. And a new host literally is a mixture of Whoopi Goldberg and Sunny Austin, and it's disgusting. Instead of having a show to where you uplift, other women instead of bashing women, or even just simply having that conversation and being real with your audience. This show is literally full of it. It's fake, and the lies are very sickening. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Definitely appreciate y'all. Much love, everybody. Catch y'all next one.